me start it this way. The first car, you see, this is what, day 7? 7 days in a row I have recorded of them writing me. Now I came up with a new war on poverty plan proposal. It has to do with taxing cigarettes, luxury cars, luxury jewelry, a potential Fortune 500 tax. It's not that much money compared to how much money they make. Okay, a small new weed tax. So the cigarette tax, I think I came up with 10 cents per pack. Okay, alcohol, 10 cents for every $10 in sales. Okay, so a penny. I think I got brights on. A penny for every dollar in sales. That's all they have to do. The liquor stores adjust that. Boom. Okay. Now also a lighter tax. I think it was 5 cents. You know, there's a billion lighters sold a year at 5 cents. Okay, that's like 20. Excuse me. What did I come up? It was $50 million a year or something like that. Right, 5 cents per lighter. Okay, $50 million a year, just like that. Okay. These are things you won't really notice. So for the cigarettes guys, you know, if we raise the cigarette tax 10 cents, maybe 20, the idea I came up with is having, you know, they have those penny jars in the liquor store for people who need an extra penny. We'll have a quarter jar for the cigarette guys. Okay, so the rich cigarette smokers can help the poor cigarette smokers if need be, and putting a quarter there, so they basically pay the tax for them if they come up short. Have a kind of honor system in that regard, in regards to who needs the money more than who. You see what I'm saying? That will help that thing go smoothly. If we raise it 20 cents, then we could double it. If we, you know, so if we, the cigarette one is $2 billion a year at 10 cents. If we make it 20 cents per pack, that's $4 billion a year. So with all these luxury taxes, we could balance them just right to make $5 billion a year just in all these cigarette, alcohol, weed, you know, luxury car taxes, etc. And that would make it so, you know, that's the equivalent of, I believe, 1/12 of the plan, right? Because it's $60 billion a year, the original plan. That tax by itself would build quite a few houses every year for the homeless, $30,000 each. Now, and family homes, you know, family in units at $45,000. We can house quite a few people with that tax by itself. But we have the people match the tax. Okay, that's one way to do it. Or we could slice the $5 billion off the original tax and have people pay an average of like $4.17 or something like that is what it came out to for the less than millionaires, you know, a month. Okay, and so say you don't make that much money, you'll be paying like $2 a month. Okay, so you get paid 2 checks a month. That's only $1 off of each paycheck every month, just $1. Okay, and we could do the $60 billion plan every year. The millionaires, it would drop to $167 or something like that on average every month. So if you have like 1.2 million or something, you're barely a millionaire, you're paying the low end of that, and that's probably going to come out to, maybe, you know, $80 a month or whatever it would come out to. Okay, that's one possibility. Or we could simply match the new cigarette tax, luxury car tax, etc., and simply that's 42 cents a month on average for the less than millionaires. So if you don't make that much money, that'd be like, you know, 12 cents if you get 2 paychecks a month off your paycheck every month. Okay, then we could bring in the 10th, you know, we could bring in 10 billion a year and build quite a few houses. I think it comes out to, I'll have to double check, I think it comes out to 233,333 or something like that every year, you know, at the 30,000 per unit price. In San Francisco, okay, they came in at 15,000 per unit. It was made out of wood. They didn't have showers, didn't have bathrooms, they just had heating and lights. Okay, and they only allowed the homeless people to stay there for 1 year. So we could do better. We can make it fireproof, and we could have running water, and we could set aside a small amount of money, because, I lowballed it on the estimate just a little bit to allow for the electricity and water bill. Okay, that way these homeless people can take showers, wash their hands, have a bathroom right there. Okay, recently there was a fire in a homeless encampment in Oakland. Okay, there's that to consider. You see what I'm talking about? We can do this. We can do this easily. It's not a matter of how much it costs, because there's so many ways we can address that. There's different taxes we can do. We can aim more taxes at the rich, luxury home taxes. We can raise the tax. There's a lot of things here. Here's another car with a vehicle with its brights on. There's a lot of things we can do there. So that's not a problem. The problem is people do not want to build homes for the homeless, right? The rich people. They believe in social Darwinism, scientific racism, eugenics. I urge you to do plenty of research on all these topics. Gentrification, right? Genes and gentrification. We look at music, for example, genre and genes, right? What kind of people listen to rap music, heavy metal, rock and roll? These people think that it's okay to claim that they're superior and to rig the system, okay? They like having homeless people so they can threaten women and say, hey, if you don't, the sexually coerce women. That's part of why. Because women are afraid to be homeless and abused on the streets. There's more than one reason they have these YouTube channels that show you street stories, because they say, hey, you don't want to end up like her. How many times a year do you think people say that you don't want to end up like her, out in the streets, out in the cold, send you back to the gutter where they found you, and so on and so forth? How many LGBT people are homeless? Okay? Do you really think it's fair that a small group of ultra-racist, scientific racist, eugenicist filth, okay, whose genes aren't even superior, and it wouldn't matter if they were, they would have morals. They wouldn't be doing this, right? Evolution, evil, you shun, okay? They would have morals if they were superior. They wouldn't be doing this, okay? I have another idea for them. I don't think people should be reproducing anyway. What they can do is they can make a fund, okay, out of their own money. Billionaires, for example, 500 million a year, on average or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They can make a fund and pay people $50,000 to agree to get their tubes tied and to never untie them or whatever. They can do that on their own. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are drug addicts who shouldn't be having kids. They can focus it on, hardcore drug addicts who've messed up their bodies. They are in no shape to have kids. And if they quit doing drugs, kind of thing, they could do that. You see what I'm saying? They could do that. I don't like eugenics myself, but I prefer that to people starving to death in the world. I prefer that to people homeless and dying of hypothermia and so on and so forth. I prefer that, don't you? But hey, you can throw that idea out if you want. It's just something I thought of, the other day, what have you, for whatever reason, it came to mind. What they are doing, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking wrong, okay? There are little kids who are homeless in America. It's like 1 in 4 families doesn't have enough food in their fridge, and their kids are hungry at times, kind of thing, and they don't have food. Okay, we can make a food program. If we do the original plan, okay, in 1 year we'll have enough money to build homes for every homeless person, tiny homes for every homeless person in this country, and we'll have money left over, okay, for excess homes and food programs. We can feed these people too. We can deliver food to poor people. We could have stands outside of grocery stores where people can collect food packages for their families. Vegetables, bread, gluten-free food for people who need it. This is not communism here that I'm talking about. This is called being a human being. This is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. There's over 380,000 churches and the most martial arts schools. I shouldn't have to convince even the most greedy person in this country that this plan should pass. I tell you, if people do not pass my war on poverty plan, at least in the half form, or at least, I'll even be more gracious than that, at least in the quarter form, a quarter of the original plan, with taxes or without taxes, to help, the quarter, at least, 15 billion a year from taxes and the new tax revenue combined, or just the new tax revenue, or just new taxes or something. Okay, luxury tax, cigarette tax, And I'll have completely lost whatever little faith I have left in this country, because this is outrageous. You eugenicists are shameless. And I'm being brided every day for my freedom of speech and for complaining about preventable deaths in the world and things like this, and talking about romantic injustice. Are you people so anti-romance that you don't care about romantic justice as well? You want your daughters to marry based on social status and a eugenicist deplorable satanic scale, and not true love in its natural and true form? Have you people lost your minds? We'll leave it there.